given, we have made a mockery of, and it is no way to be living. I know it for a fact.
And I got somebody with me to share my heavy load. I feel his presence near me every day.
Yeah, there's a room in my house reserved for the Lord. He comes as he please, and I never hear him leave.
You've just seen the 5 finalists in the JCDC Gospel Star competition. Who will walk away with the top prize and a chance to perform at this year's Grand Gala? Let your votes count. Also, we are just 7 days away from celebrating Jamaica 61, proud and strong. Have you decked your walls in black, green and gold yet? Now is the time to do so. Hi there, I'm Adrian Atkins and you're watching Jamaica Magazine. We have more on the flip side of this break. We'll be right back.
Everybody get ready. It's festival time again.
Jamaica, me yard, me yard, me yard, me yard.
Oh, we dancing same way. People jumping same way. We are real.
Among the finalists is the 7-time festival song winner, Eric Donalds.
Reggae, 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 Jamaica. Now you know the best in the world is Jamaica. Born and grow, black, green and gold.
Junior Award winner, Escoliva.
Feels like home. We need more
An artist named Hot Rod.
love, more love on the land.
2 mentor groups.
Well, look about what Talawa.
This is Jamaica.
Best food and rich culture.
Beep, 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 bam. Jamaica, me born and grow.
A visually impaired female singer called Princess Black.
We have to big up Mama J.
I'm really excited by what I consider to be the flood of quality entries in the competition.
Oh, happy Independence Day, a Jamaica Independence Day. No, we know better than we are. No matter how them tell you, them a live bigger than no, we know nicer than we are. Look overseas, just sit down and a ball when. No, we know better than we are.
With temperatures rising above 30 degrees and not much sign of it letting up for now, we've invited the head of the weather branch to explain what's happening. It's time for Get the Facts.
Welcome to Get the Facts, the program that provides you with information on government's policies and initiatives. I'm Theodore Henry. So, something that we don't have to introduce, the place has been hot. And it seems for the last few years or so, it's been getting hotter. Now, here to explain further is head of the weather branch at the Meteorological Service of Jamaica, Rohan Brown. Welcome to the program, Mr. Brown.
Hey, Theodore. It's good to be here.
All right, so let's get the facts. Sir, I would like to file a formal complaint with the Met Service. The place is hot.
It is.
Why is it so hot?
We're entering the summer period. And of course, during the summer period, the temperatures go up. So we have rising temperatures during the months, normally from the end of May all the way to September, and also extending into November.
Well, Sir Brown, summer, yes. But I've been hearing about heat waves.
Yes.
What's a heat wave?
All right. So, in its purest and simplest definition, a heat wave is an extended period of extremely hot weather for a particular location at a particular time of the year. And in our instance, in the Jamaica context, it is a 2-day period or more of higher than normal temperatures or higher temperatures than the maximum average temperature for the location. So that is what it is in simplest form.
That spikes my interest. I've always sort of had this idea of heat wave being hot air coming from somewhere blowing across, but it sounds as if it's just temperature in the area.
Well, warm advection or warm air advection also increases the temperature. So we'll talk about it later on because there might be a number of other factors that will come into play.
All right, you've made me a promise. Now, before we go any further, how is it that the Met Service determines the temperature, or the, let me not say determines, but how you come by your weather predictions overall?
All right, so right across the world, right, they're doing observations, whether minutely, hourly, or every hour on the hour, right? And here in Jamaica, we do observations for temperature, wind, pressure, humidity, all the elements of weather, and that is done right across the world. Now, all that information is captured, and you have a synopsis of what is happening now. So that is where we start.
Okay.
That is then put into numerical prediction models. Those are supercomputers that take that information, they do an analysis, and they generate forecast products. So what you have now is that you have what is happening now. It goes into a model and it tells you, based on what is happening now, this is what you're expecting over the next 12 hours, 48 hours, 3 days, 10 days, 20 days. So in a nutshell, that is how observation and the forecast is done in terms of predicting what will happen.
I'm a little bit worried to ask this question. So what are the predictions for the next few days?
Well, for June, July, and into August, we're expecting about 15 to 20 heat wave days. And again, we said earlier, those are 2 or more days of extremely higher than normal temperatures.
15 to 20.
Yeah, during that period. So that is what we're expecting. Also, your nighttime temperatures will increase as well.
Wow.
And so we're expecting hotter nights as well. So not only hotter days, but hotter nights.
Hotter than now.
Yes,
so
it's correct.
If I get this correctly, you're not saying that we're expecting the current temperatures to continue. We're expecting them to increase.
That is correct. That is correct.
Oh boy. So what's contributing?
So a number of factors are contributing as we are speaking. So you have greenhouse gases. So you have the naturally occurring greenhouse gases, and you also have the man-made greenhouse gases. And that combination is responsible for global warming and greenhouse gas effect. All right?
The whole place hot.
Right.
The sun hasn't just come to Jamaica.
Right, exactly. And additionally, the sun elevation and the sun angle also heats up the place as well. You also have wind. So advection of warm air, as you said earlier on, moving into areas, and also ocean currents as well, because they also generate heat as well. So a combination of those factors, and especially El Nino, because we're moving into that period where El Nino is going to become more dominant as we go through the summer and into the winter months, and therefore you're going to have a heating effect as well as a result of El Nino.
Quick definition, El Nino?
It's simple. It's just a warming of the area in the Pacific, but that warming has implications for global circulations. So if it's heating up there, the wind factor around the world and the circulation around the world changes from what it was. And one of the outcomes of that is that warmer temperatures in the Caribbean region.
So when our leaders say we're a part of a global economy, we're a part of a weather system
global
as well.
weather package as well.
Jamaica doesn't stand alone. So is there any good news? When can we look forward to some cool breeze?
So the projections are that from now until September and also going into October, we're going to have increasing temperatures. Not until the November or the ending of November, when there is a shift in the weather pattern in terms of there are cold fronts now that will be coming down from North America and interacting with the warmer conditions in the Caribbean and sort of neutralizing that warm effect. So between now and October, late November, we will be having warm conditions. But as it gets past December, January, February, when cold fronts begin to come down, we have a normalizing of the hot and warm air coming together and reducing our temperatures.
And that seems like we just get a little tiny toops of coolness.
Well, we are a tropical country. We are in the Caribbean.
Right.
And people come here for season and sun.
Well, you know, there's a science question bouncing around in my head. We've announced that this is the hurricane season.
Yes, it is.
But we're also having this heat wave. How do the two of those things work together?
All right. So as it is now, right, we're having the hurricane season. And the hurricane season, again, you know, from June to November. As it is, we are having waves coming off the west coast of Africa, and they move into areas that allow for growth and development. And so we're having hurricanes developing. But because we're having what we mentioned earlier, the El Nino, and that El Nino factor or climate pattern, right, is creating a warming of our region as well. Additionally, from earlier in the year, there have been warming of the sea surface temperatures. So you have a combination of El Nino and warm sea surface temperatures. And again, the end result is a warmer than normal condition.
Understood, understood. We're at our break, but please stay with us. We are going to continue this conversation, so don't go anywhere.
The following is brought to you by the Office of the Prime Minister.
Jamaica is changing right before our very eyes. Across the island, billions are being invested into our road networks, from farm and community roads to major roads and highways. Dozens of communities across the length and breadth of Jamaica are receiving access to reliable potable water for the very first time. And thousands of Jamaicans have become homeowners thanks to the historic shifts in policies of the National Housing Trust, making it easier for Jamaicans to receive funding. Not to mention the record number of houses being built. Never dreamed you would own a home? No matter your circumstance, home ownership is possible for you, thanks to the government's new social housing program specially designed to meet the needs of poor Jamaicans at no cost to them. We are building Jamaica.
The proceeding was brought to you by the Office of the Prime Minister.
Nutritious food, succulent dishes, superior workmanship, and excellent service. Jamaica is on the go. Let's grow what we eat and eat what we grow. Let's harness the indomitable spirit of our most valued resource, our people. Let's support our local businesses. After all, buying Jamaican means building Jamaica.
Original.
Welcome back to Get the Facts. We are talking about the current rising temperatures, and the conversation continues with Rohan Brown, head of the weather branch at the Meteorological Service of Jamaica. Sir Brown, let's pick it right up. You didn't give him much good news last time, but I still have hope. I still have hope. Temperatures are going up.
They are.
In the long term, now you've given us till, about November before we start feeling a little cooler. But in the long term, are we expecting any reduction?
Well, climate scientists all around the world are indicating that temperatures will continue to rise, especially because of the greenhouse effect. And therefore, the warming of the earth, the warming and the trapping of that heat content will allow for heating across the world.
Right.
And here in Jamaica, we will feel that as well. So the temperatures will, in terms of average temperatures over the coming years, will continue to increase. Again, there might be periods where the temperatures might go down and rise again, but in terms of the average, they will continue to increase.
So we're all getting very tropical.
We are, in some sense,
Yeah.
We are one world, and even though you might have winter, but when winter ends in a region, they will go to extreme hotter than normal conditions.
Right.
So those are what we are predicting in terms of climate science.
And that has been a challenge. We've been hearing about what some of these places are experiencing in terms of these heat waves.
That is correct.
But you mentioned the historical data in the first part of our interview, and you just touched on it again, and I'm curious, what's the hottest we've seen?
All right. So based on record from our synoptic stations that we have across the island, 36.9 degrees. We had that, I think, in August 2017. That is the highest temperature that has been recorded. All right. However, there might be other places, and due to urban eating or other effects, that might be higher. But in terms of what we have recorded, 36.9 at the Norman Manley International Airport.
I feel like I remember that summer.
2017, it was a hot one.
Yeah. So where are we now?
In terms of temperatures, on a daily basis, we're like 32, 33. However, sometimes with the high humidity, it feels like a 34, 35. And therefore, temperatures are varying there. Maximum temperatures might be up to 34 as well. And therefore, that is where we are. But again, warming, high humidity, the place will feel hot.
The place will feel hot. Yeah. All right, so still not much good news there. But you're sharing the facts with us. You're sharing the facts with us. All right, okay. So what are some of the steps the average person can take to deal with this sort of?
Well, it is summer, so stay as cool as possible. So if you are indoor, you might have to use your fan or your AC. You might have to open your doors so natural ventilation can take place. Moving out here, if you're outdoors, stay in shaded areas as much as possible. And of course, hydration. You cannot drink too much water, especially in this hot, high humidity period.
Right, it's better in than out, eh?
That is correct.
That is it. So, I'm thinking about this heat wave thing, and I am wondering as well, what are the chances of us having, is there such a thing as a multiple heat wave?
All right, so let me go back. So in June, we would have had 2 or 3 periods of heat wave, and those are days when the average temperatures would have been more than 33.6 degrees Celsius or 33.8 degrees Celsius. That is. So we would have had periods already of heat wave in the month of June, about 3 or 4 periods already. So those dates were like the 15th and 17th of June, and 2 other periods within the month where we had heat wave conditions across Jamaica.
So it's not one heat wave?
No, sir. Yeah, so actually it's like a wave, a wave-like pattern. So you might have periods when you will have those high temperatures, and if they continue for 2 or more days, we use what is called the 95th percentile rule in terms of analyzing heat waves. So we put it down to 2 waves. So when you have 2 days of those extremely high temperatures, we classify that as a heat wave.
I see. Okay, well, thank you for satisfying my curiosity on those matters. So you have told us that we are currently experiencing a heat wave. We can expect it to keep going on.
A wave-like pattern. When you have a lull, but then you have those extremely hot days where you have higher than normal temperatures. And of course, I also want to say to the elderly, that they need to pay attention as well and keep hydrated. Because they are a set of people that are that heat stress is most likely to impact them than, say, a 20, 30-year-old individual. So older people and the babes, we need to be taking extreme protection and caution as it relates to hotter than normal temperatures.
Yeah. You did say it was summer and it's beach time and all of that. We should be concerned about. We should be take our time with that. Right.
So if you're going to the beach, the beach is always a good place to cool down. But for some, you might have to put on like a tan or 2.
Understood. Sir Brown, you've given us quite a bit of information this program, and I really want to thank you for sharing that wisdom with us. We are experiencing higher than normal temperatures, and in fact, according to the prediction, they will become more and more normal, even as they increase. We're looking at time heading all the way into November, and the word was stay hydrated.
That is correct. Drink some water.
Drink some water. Yeah. All right, so this has been Get the Facts. So our guest was Rohan Brown, head of the weather branch at the Meteorological Service of Jamaica. Thank you for watching. Until next time, I'm Theodore Henry. I reiterate, stay hydrated and take good care.
Water is precious. So we encourage everyone to practice the 4 R's of water conservation. Always remember to reduce your use of water wherever possible. Replace water wasting devices with water savings devices. Reuse water wherever possible. And wherever leaks are found, please repair them and repair them quickly.
Don't delay. Practice the 4 R's of water conservation today.
Brethren, the road signs make the traffic environment safe. The green light means go. Red means stop. Amber also means stop. Yeah man, it don't mean you must speed up. And get this, even if the light's on green, when the traffic is thick, don't bother move off and block the intersection. And please, don't stop on a pedestrian crossing. Look out for children, the disabled and the elderly. Follow the signs so they all can arrive alive. Be a good road user. Obey the road signs and look out for each other.
Road safety is your priority, so in this next feature we bring you a few useful defensive driving tips.
It looks like I'm all ready to go, but am I really? Yes, I'm doing all the right checks to make sure my vehicle is road ready. But what about everybody else? How do I get ready for them?
Driving to save lives, time and money in spite of the conditions around you and the actions of others. But in a nutshell, we want to ensure that, we leave our destination and we reach home safely without creating any harmful situation for any other road users.
Using the techniques of defensive driving helps you to reduce the chance of other people's mistakes affecting you and your vehicle.
You must always be aware that though you might be a good defensive driver, the other road users a lot of times aren't. People will borrow your lane, people will overtake carelessly because they're tired of being in front of a vehicle that is slower than them or a truck.
The government is targeting behavioral change among drivers to reduce the country's vehicular collisions and fatalities, and defensive driving is one of the tools. Grinnell's driving school is known for championing safe driving. Director and instructor Seth Grinnell leads us through some useful defensive driving techniques. Let's learn.
The road code says that the person who arrives first should be allowed to go first, assuming that everyone now, of course, comes to a stop at the stop sign. We'll creep to our line of vision to see if it's safe to go. I'm going to make a right turn and then I proceed. Using the cover and scan technique, when approaching an intersection, we usually want to shadow our brake, but most times what we do, we toot our horn, we don't slow down because we believe the horn will stop the person's vehicle pressing their brake for them. That's not the technique we should use. So when the light turns to green, we wait at least 2 seconds. Then we scan our intersection, ensure no one is running their light, and then we proceed safely. All right, so we're on Hope Road, and this road slopes slightly downhill. So it's very easy for you to gather speed without even knowing. Now the speed limit is 50 kilometers per hour, but I can promise you, I am going 50 now, and you realize that people will be passing me with ease. Now, one of the biggest issues here is that people always crash into the wall right at waterfalls there. Now, there are adequate road signs. We can see the road signs, the backdrop, which speaks to caution or warning, and the left arrow bent like that means left bend. So caution, left bend. Now, if you do not slow down, there's even a recommended speed here. I promise you, your vehicle will only try to go straight. You will not be able to maneuver the bend, and the wall shall meet you. So the road signs should be adhered to.
Eager to learn, we quizzed Seth some more about other defensive driving techniques and how to deal with the narrow roadways, especially in rural Jamaica.
Bumper-to-bumper collisions is one of the highest crashes that we have, especially in built-up areas. Within Kingston, we have a lot of built-up areas, people who are late, people who are impatient, and the closer you are to the vehicle in front of you, the more likely that if you are distracted, if you aren't really aware of the situation, you'll end up into the back of the vehicle. Even a sneeze. Because when you sneeze, sometimes you jerk forward and before you know it, you're in someone's trunk. A lot of times what happens, you might be peacefully going about your way. Someone bad drives you, and then they give you some choice words, you know, the body language, and you believe that you have to meet them in kind. You just have to let it go. It doesn't positively impact your driving. A lot of times it leads to you taking unnecessary risks. So you want to take extra caution, use up your horn to alert the road users in front of you that you are coming and that they should hold their side of the road and so forth.
There are many ways to deal with the far too many lives being lost on our nation's roads. Government's enactment of the New Road Traffic Act is helping to actualize the transformation by issuing harsher penalties for road safety breaches. Defensive driving puts the driver in the seat to save lives. With more calculated efforts and responsible actions, it protects the most vulnerable road users and benefits all without a cost.
And just like that, we are signing out for today, but not to worry, you can rewatch this offering or other content like this by visiting our website, jis.gov.jm. Do join us again tomorrow on this same station as we bring you another informative, educational and entertaining package of Jamaica Magazine. Until then, I'm Adrian Atkinson. Thank you so much for watching.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.